Let's go.
Guess who's back? Yes, sir, it's me, the D.O. and Big Don. That's me. You don't like my name, you don't like my style. Stand to the side. I think I saw your mama smile. Chillin', she can come groove with me. Tell a little something that she might like to hear. You got a sexy fucking body and your ass is soft. I should've whispered that part, but hold up, wait. Let's do a swing bang, we win, and we can get nasty like the Yin Yang Twins. Been like this since the years of 8. You horny motherfucker couldn't wait to make. Wait till you see my don't be needy, don't be greedy, I never order yo. Just silly, grooving to the speed. You might be hating, homeboy, but while you're tapping your feet, I'm doing what I love to do. Why you always standing hating and not having a clue? Sitting there with so much rage, let it out, motherfucker, yo, get out that cage. Time to end this song right here. Churros is back, raise your beers. Time to get into the biz. To you listening, I salute you. Cheers.
Hello and welcome to the Churros y Tácticas Podcast. Wow, Diego, Lorijn coming in hot. I mean, I really could vibe to that song. I just wasn't. I thought this was Patreon edition, unfiltered for a second there. I was like, oh my God, we didn't warn anyone. We didn't warn anyone's kids. We didn't warn any abuelos, abuelas. It's just roll it in. Like I felt like I was in a nightclub. You know what? I'm vibing with it. I liked it. The beat was fantastic. So one of your friends sent you that beat?
Yeah, so that's a personal friend of mine by the name of Faunosaur. Make sure you check him out on SoundCloud, Spotify, all the available places where he has a great playlist of all the instrumentals he now makes. Maybe some of our UK listeners might remember the group called J Trio. That's going back quite a few years, but he was the lead singer, rapper for that group, as well as saxophone player. A very talented musician, artist, still producer now. He can write better rhymes than me, and I'm trying to get him to jump on these as well, which I think I finally convinced him. But yeah, he's very, so kind, so generous to partake in this innovative, creative little side project we're trying to morph to churros. So I hope you guys enjoy that. I'd let myself go on that one. I'm very sorry for our more prude or younger audience. That was unexpected. I had everybody listen to it. I got wifey's approval to put it out too. That's sisters, friends. So that's all we need. It's a song. It came out. As you know, Kiyan, and maybe the listeners too. I've been de Rodriguez. I've been all alone. My family's off to see my see my grandparents-in-law, and they have left this madman alone for 3 weeks now. I'm gonna go up on 3 weeks, having a great time. But that's a lot of time for myself, Kiyan, and the creative juices start flowing, things start going. This song was aimed at my haters, in all honesty, and the love I have for their moms, which is it's all in fun, good spirit. I just needed to get it off my chest. It'd been boiled up inside me, and I let this feelings, emotions out in a funny kind of way that shouldn't be like too serious, but I do understand how it can maybe caught some off guard. And but there's a crazy side to me that people are slowly but surely getting to know. Kiyan, what can I say?
We lost some fans but gained some new ones. That was a polarizing intro. So welcome to the new fans and goodbye to the ones who have just left us. Your family has been away for 3 weeks. That's a long time.
Well, that's a long time. They won't be able 2.5 weeks on Thursday. So, but no, I mean more than weeks. It's been about. It will come up to like 19 days or something. 18. So yeah.
I want to transition.
That's a long time. 1 second, Faunosaur. Mfonecien is his real name. Go check him out. Links will be in the description below if you enjoyed that tune, which, by the way, wasn't actually meant to be on. These are strictly instrumentals that he made, and then I came and got all over it. That's what I was going to do. I told my friends, if you give me your beat, you give me the generosity, what I'll do is I will shit all over them. And hopefully we make something nice out of it in the process. But it'll be a hit and miss sometimes. I hope you guys enjoyed this I was gonna say first one, not really. I've been doing quite a string of these freestyles now.
Third now,
but
I
the
think.
first one may be on. Well, like, but I've done more. Huh?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that beat that I made,
Third
I did like
consecutive.
4. Right. So yeah, but yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Well, you interrupted me. I said I want to transition, and then you cut me off. So we left the listeners hanging with my transition. I want to transition.
It's a cliffhanger, man.
It's a cliffhanger.
Classic.
I want to transition to football pretty quickly because, as you know, we're kind of short on time today. And
Yes.
you're going to be a little bit surprised maybe with the dialogue of the podcast today because we didn't really talk about what we're going to record. We have a patron question that came in that I don't think you saw yet, but I'm sure you have an idea given the news. The hottest subject on the planet seems to be Barca's finances of late. Everyone's talking about that. The Barca fans are saying, hey, you guys shut up and stop talking about our finances. We are Barcelona. We are one of the biggest institutions. Look at all these clubs who have debt. And so I think a lot of culés maybe necessarily don't understand the financial structure and how the differences in certain debts and what a short-term debt is, long-term debt is. That's besides the point. It's a debate raging right now between the culés and the rest of the world. The rest of the world is saying, hey, you guys get back in your cage, in your prison cell. You're not allowed to spend money. You don't have money. And the culés are fighting back. Like, you guys don't know anything. We are getting these deals and sponsorships. We're fine. So here's the question, patron question. From our patron, Brendan Powers, who gets a response because he's a patron. A lot of these freeloaders send us messages on Twitter thinking they can get responses on our podcast. They don't know. The patrons are living the good life over on patreon.com/Churros y Tácticas. They get responses.
No doubt.
They get free access to exclusive shows that others don't get. Our patron, Brendan Powers, says, honest question for Diego. Diego already knows he can't say much on this podcast, so he's probably like, well, question for me. I'll swoop in. Don't worry, Diego. The question is, we all know Barcelona are not in the best financial situation. So if La Masia is as strong as we have been told, which it is, it seems to be a strong group, why does Barca continue to attempt to buy and sell players? Why doesn't Barcelona bite the bullet for 1 or 2 seasons with the young, talented squad they have and attempt to build around that and stack money to get out of the financial deficit that they have accrued? Why not do what Florentino Perez did when he took over Real Madrid in a dire state? Sell players, the players worth money, sell assets if necessary, and then just be good enough to get the Champions League football and then just take the L for 1 or 2 seasons max, especially with selling important financial gains for a short-term gain with a long-term loss. I'm just trying to wrap my head around it from an outsider looking in. By the way, thanks for the help for my Barcelona trip. My fiance and I enjoyed it very much. Oh, it's great. Glad to hear that,
Brendan. So I think Brendan hit the nail on the head here before you swoop in. And can I just quickly
It's all yours.
say that he gave the answer in his own question where he said Florentino sold assets. I mean, that's exactly what Barca are doing as well, of course. We're not seeing many players being sold off yet, but assets are being sold off, and Barca are able to bring in some liquid cash in order to have a more, say, level playing field as they enter this transfer market.
That's it? Can't give us more than that?
I mean, we talked about this on Friday's pod in depth. I think if people want to hear more, they can become a patron. I mean, I don't know what more to add. I saw you retweeted a great article by Sid Lowe that I think from A to Z would, a perfect explanation. And it's difficult to follow. It's hard to wrap your head around even what Sid lays out in layman's terms. You have to sort of go back and add things up, double read certain parts in order to understand exactly how currently the club are doing financial gymnastics and trying to be as elastic and flexible as possible to get to a point where they can acquire players, register these players, and make sure that they comply with the financial fair play that Tebas, has put in place in La Liga, where was something very interesting in that article where apparently when you go to register a player, if you don't comply, so if you don't tick all the boxes, you're not even in the app. Like, you won't be able to press the, let's say, registration accept button, so to speak.
Yeah, that was very interesting.
Yeah. So I would just and of course making sure that I don't overstep or anything or get into hot territory. I would invite Brendan to go to our Churros y Tácticas Twitter account to see that the article that I'll retweet right now to get the best answer that he could get right now.
That part among many other parts of that article were super interesting to me. I mean that essentially was like almost like a trade machine, NBA trade machine for La Liga, where it's like trade successful, trade unsuccessful. I thought that was pretty interesting. So I have no real desire to add or anything to that article or necessarily even elaborate on it, because I don't even know if I would do it justice. I think it was a tremendous piece of journalism, and it's retweeted. So I think people should go read it. And this question actually came in before that article, so it's possible that Brendan has already read it by now and gotten an answer. But I also think this question also is asking something different. It's not necessarily how Barca are funding certain things, and it's not about understanding their financial situation. It's about what is wise at this moment. Because I think if you look at, I have a lot of thoughts on Rafinha, for example. But the question to me is, put it this way: Barcelona is a club that, as we know, the whole joke that was taken out of context about them not existing in a couple of years, and even if it wasn't a joke, to believe that is insanity. They'll be around. And
shout out to Taps, by the way, for hooking us up with the name of the pod and all the people involved.
Always a shout out to Taps. Always, every episode, no matter what. Taps is our guy.
Always. For sure.
So. You ruined my train of thought. Hold on.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. So, listen. Okay, so here, I got it. I regained it. Barcelona will always be big enough to have these financial flexibilities in order to, whether it's selling assets, taking on interest, and paying it over time, and maybe there's some detriments to those decisions long term, but ultimately they'll be able to keep the wheels turning and reinvest and exist and keep going. I also think a lot of this is, again, digging out of what Bartomeu put you guys in. But I also question certain decisions despite that. Despite being able to, quote-unquote, activate these financial levers, which is still a running joke, I question certain decisions that Laporta has made. I question now whether Ferran for, I think, was it 65 million was worth it. I also question
55. 55. Stop being generous with those.
Okay, I really question the Rafinha signing. And here's my take on it. 75
It's not done yet.
Okay.
It's not done yet.
Okay. Fine. As reported by many reputable sources, the offer on the table is 75 million. If I'm Leeds United and I get that for a player who scored, like, I think was it just a handful of goals this past season, is a good player, but 75 million, I'm taking that deal and running away. I think it's a great deal for him. I think, me saying this, I think there are going to be some Kool-Aids who are going to be like, oh, he's just saying that if Real Madrid signed Rafinha for 75 million, he'd probably be, writing big articles of Rafinha, the great Rafinha, like all this tactical fit, genius signing, Florentino Perez masterclass. No, I've long been vocal on the Managing Madrid podcast that despite Mbappe not arriving, I'd be very, 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 very careful about who we would sign. Rafinha for 75 million at Real Madrid, I'd be really, really disappointed in the board's management. I think Rafinha will make your squad.
Were you when they spent 45 for Vinicius and however much, 45 for Rodrigo. Were you disappointed? Because Vinicius, now in hindsight, is easy to say, but Vinicius came for 45 million when he was, 17, 18. That was a lot of money for really somebody who was not proven in the big leagues. At least Raphinha's coming from the Premier League, helped Leeds stay up, walked the entire pitch on his knees. No, but, were you critical of Papa Flo with Vini and Rodri signings?
Well, I remember stating that it was a risk because we know very little about these players. We're relying on our own internal scouting network to sign these players at a young age. I think the difference is Rafinha's 25. Vinicius was a bet on the future, and thankfully he worked out. Rafinha, we kind of already know what kind of player he is, and I just don't think he's worth that much. I think Dembele is the better and more efficient right winger. What I will say is that I think Rafinha improves your squad. He gives you more depth. But is 75 million worth that? Is he worth in whatever financial levers you want to activate and these genius financial things that Laporta is doing to get you guys out of the hole? Despite all of that, is it still worth it to spend 75 million, or is it worth it to maybe give more playing time to Abde? I'm just asking the question. I don't know. Maybe Rafinha is going to be unbelievable and he's going to be amazing. I'd be very, very skeptical of, I wouldn't want any part of that at Real Madrid, to be honest. To me, I've been vocal about this. Even Riyad Mahrez, I said the same thing. Before this Rafinha thing was even a thing, we put out a podcast and we answered the question, would Mahrez be a good signing for Real Madrid? My argument was, yeah, he would be a good signing in the sense that he would immediately fit on the right wing, seamlessly probably, and be awesome and be our best right winger and make us better. But the price you'd pay for him to renew him on a contract on the wrong side of his career. It's the one last big contract to a 30-plus-year-old that has always been historically just a dangerous and risky thing to do for those players. And is that worth it long term? Because you're going to have Mahrez on a huge contract at the age of 34 or 35, and I'm not sure if I want that scenario. And I think that, to me, it was Serge Gnabry was the main one I'd sign, and if not him, then I would just rather just give those minutes to Rodrigo and promote Sergio Arribas, who I love from Real Madrid Castilla. And I kind of think Barcelona, I don't know, Rafinha is a good player, but 75 million, if I were in charge, I'd rather not splash that money on him and probably just Dembouz is the right winger, and then you get you give more playing time to Abde or sign somebody else. That's just kind of my... Anyways, we're also digressing from the question itself. The question itself was, what happened to all the talent in La Masia? Can you not rely on them? And one more thing, Diego. We're already making faces. I know you feel insulted right now. I do think there is merit in the idea of spending money now, if you're Barca, to make the team better now, to ensure you get into the later stages of the Champions League, to ensure you qualify for the Champions League next year, whatever, because the better you are now, the more money you'll make right now. So there's also that. So the idea of just tanking for a couple years and not being good is not really an option for a big team, because you lose out on a lot of money doing that. So the idea of reinforcing in the squad now does make sense to me, and I want to say that. So I'm not saying, I don't want to make this too one-sided and say that it was just a terrible deal. But I'm definitely skeptical, and I definitely have questions about that much money for a player who I don't know how much he moves the needle, especially over Dembele. But again, there's a lot of counter arguments. Dembele may not be healthy. So take it away.
Yeah. I don't know. No, it's I don't know how to judge this one, how to really jump into this one, seeing as I cannot have, let's say, an educated opinion on Rafinha. I haven't seen him play. So it would me arguing a player for 75 million that I haven't seen play would seem just wrong. Would seem pretty nuts of me to do. 75 million is a lot of money, a hell of a lot of money, obviously, and Barca a lot with that money. I can't sit here and tell you neither it was an express desire, a must by the coaching staff for the board to make this deal happen by any means. I can't say that. I don't know that. Nobody expected Dembélé, of course, to still be around. Neither. We talked about how the papers are reporting that he'll play for 40% less of what he was earning. That's after he reportedly asked for salary plus all the agent fees that, of course, now will not go into effect. You have two very talented wingers, right wingers. Dembélé, you could have maybe use him on the left. And that for Xavi is an absolute luxury. I mean, he must be pretty excited if he does end up with this luxury problem on these two players competing for the same position when you know, I guess, the kind of liability that Dembélé is in terms of injuries. However, and this might be contrary to popular belief among school, but I liked what I saw from Dembouz a lot in that second half of the season, under Xavi. Quite frankly, I thought it was the most positive that production effectiveness, aportación, right? What he brings to the team as well since his arrival 5 years ago. So I was encouraged at the time to see him and coach have such a good bond understanding. It might be something that Xavi doesn't want to deal with. Maybe this, coaches, and if this ends up being the case with both of them coming or staying, we undoubtedly will hear Xavi being asked about it and talk about this being a luxury problem, as coaches will always do, right? They will be very diplomatic and talk about how the more talent, the better. This is competing, having great players compete for the same position is healthy for the squad. Maybe from a sporting and a competitive standpoint, yes, but you have to, of course, take the financials into account. And I would imagine in the Barca offices right now, this minute, they're probably discussing, well, okay, wait, shit. We can actually are saying, okay, we can make this deal happen for this amount of money, but we've got Dembouz now who's going to stay, most likely. That's also not official yet. So I don't want to, jump the gun or say anything that isn't official yet. But looks like Dembouz will stay, will be saying. In the case that he will stay, which is whatever percentage, should we allocate that money maybe then somewhere else? Lewandowski, who we know will not come cheap. Xavi, what should we do, coach? Should it be a Koundé? Should we need to allocate that money in defense? All these players have big price tags hanging on them as well. So they have a lot of not just wheeling and dealing to do, but also, understanding what the current squad is and what have and where the priority lies. And, we can only speculate. Everything will be made official. With regards to the B team players or the Masia players, I raise an eyebrow because we're bringing up youth. Brandon, right?
Yep.
This was still Brandon's question.
Yep.
We're bringing up youth. This squad is characterized by its youthfulness, and whether that's more recently acquired youthfulness in Pedri or the likes of Gavi, Nico, who have been with the squad a whole lot longer. We're seeing many players right now as well. Many of the B team players train with the first squad. Balde is there. Abde is still there. Iñaki Peña, of course, the goalkeepers, and Arnau Tenas as well, will be competing to become the second behind Ter Stegen, assuming that Neto will leave. Again, don't want to jump the gun here, but we're seeing and the B team and La Masia as well is filled with players that have been there since the youth ranks. I'm looking at the squad now with Mateus in the midfield, Aranda even, or Alvaro, where people talk very highly of as well, and Abde in the front. Then you have oh shit, I just went blank. Ilias and no. Anyway, I'm naming here names that I think are regular names as well that we have seen already make in within the first team last season. A hell of a lot of debutants made their appearance under Xavi, and I will this is part of La Masia's philosophy as well. It's great players plus the mix of homegrown players, and that will continue. I mean, that will continue to be the case. Whether we want to nitpick and argue whether it should be done more or less right now during these kind of dire and financially strained times, well, sure, we can debate about that, but that's not right now the time nor place to do that.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Again, my take is that I think Raphinha makes you guys better. So I don't want that part of it to get lost in what I'm saying. I think he does make you guys better. But 75 million is a lot of money for a guy like that.
It's a lot of money.
And time will tell. We'll see. We'll see how this goes. I mean, I think
priority though. You understand that? Like you're probably in agreement with that. Like where's the priority?
You guys want insurance for the right wing. That's what this comes down to, right? If Dembele is your guy,
you think that let's say Rafinha will be brought in before Koundé or Lewandowski at this point. If Dembele has announced that he will renew his contract for another 2 years.
If Dembele has renewed already and it's down to Lewandowski, Rafinha, and Koundé, I actually think the priority would probably be Koundé in that situation, even more than Lewandowski, because at least you guys have Aubameyang already. He's been really good, right? So it's not that urgent to get Lewandowski, although he's obviously hit in his own category of star. The other one, who was the other one you mentioned of the three? I blanked out. Rafinha, Lewandowski. All right.
Koundé, Lewandowski, Rafinha.
With regards to Rafinha again, it's insurance for the right wing, right? Because let's say if Dembele leaves, then you obviously Rafinha is, I think, a more logical signing. If he stays, I think there's a concern of a couple things. One is, can he stay healthy? And two is, if you want to go deep in multiple competitions, do you have enough depth there? I get that part as well. And that's basically what it comes down to, because you have Ansu and Ferran on the left, or Memphis. Memphis is kind of left/middle, can start in either positions or come off the bench in either positions. Same with Ferran. Ferran can play on the right. He has sometimes. Memphis not so much.
Plays on the left and right too.
Who?
Dembele.
Oh, Dembele, yeah. So yeah, look, I get the insurance aspect of it, and also, I really want Ansu to stay healthy, but you never know. So I hope he does. But so I get the insurance aspect of it. I really do. So there is that. I mean, again, there's counter arguments to everything I'm saying. But like, the thing is, like, there are leaps of faith and there's pragmatism, and this is definitely a leap of faith and not pragmatism, is my point. And I do wonder, like, with the situation they're in now, I think pragmatism is something I would lean towards. Rather than taking these huge gambles at these fees. So good luck to him. Good luck to you guys. Good luck to him. It's not official, but good luck. Good luck to everybody.
It's official. That's right.
But just the record be known, it's not because I'm a Madridista. I had said the same thing multiple times for Real Madrid squad construction. I would promote Arribas from Castilla as the backup to add depth, and that's it. Do you want to... Do you have any hot takes? Any important analysis you want to give about La Liga changing its name?
No, La Liga Santander.
As of August, they will no longer be the sponsor. They will not be the sponsor for the 2023-2024 season, because Santander will no longer be the main sponsor then. And apparently the new
Okay, I
name
didn't
will
see
be,
this news.
yeah, the new name will be announced in August.
Okay.
I personally would like it to be La Liga Churros. Just no, it doesn't, not even attributed to anyone. No churros brand, no churros shop, no churros podcast. Just La Liga Churros. And the logo is just two balls and a big churro. Just sticking up. Can you freestyle that? Can you add that to your next freestyle? Two balls in a churro. That's your challenge. 2 balls in a churro. That has to be in your next freestyle.
That shouldn't be a problem.
I have to go pick up my son. Do you have any burning takes?
Yeah, I know you gotta go. About what?
Just anything.
La Liga? No.
Anything. No.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know. There's a bunch of silly topics. I don't know if I want to get into it though. Did you see the video about Pep getting asked to stop to take a picture while he's on his bike?
I was so uncomfortable watching that video. I wanted to take that guy's phone and throw him and the phone in a river. But
the Spanish media, do you know what the Spanish media are saying?
They call it Pep a bad
maybe
guy?
There's this online. Well, I don't know if, look, man, you don't know?
No, I haven't seen.
So they're saying that Pep was scared that he was getting his bike stolen. And that he thought this person was going to steal his bike, and they're insinuating that he gets off and kind of like hands him the bike.
Oh no, I don't. I'm not even going to get involved in that. I just want to say that the guy filming was being creepy as hell.
Us and Marek are saying this. You don't like chase somebody down doing that. I mean, it's
just not like, appropriate behavior. I'm sorry. Like, treat these guys like humans and not celebrities and these people who you need to chase down when they're exercising to take a fucking picture. Stop it. It's creepy as hell.
No.
Stop. Yeah. No. There should be zero anything blame any. Whatever Pep was feeling in the moment, he was justified to feel because he doesn't even know who's behind him. Just someone yelling at him. I wouldn't stop either, to be honest. That's it. And he was just being super weird about it. He was like getting mad.
Very weird.
He was getting mad at Pep for not taking a picture. Like, so that's just the weird behavior. That's all I got to say about that.
It was strange.
Yeah. Anything else? You always it's just you open the can of worms when the can needs to be closed. You just throw things out there casually to open up 1 hour of discussion. Is there anything that you can get off your chest in 10 seconds?
No, nothing.
Because my son is going to be waiting
I need longer
by himself.
Go for your son. I got shit to do, really. I'm exhausted. I still got shit to do.
You're not exhausted, man. You got no kids in the house for 3 weeks now. No wife.
That's exhausting. I can't sleep with my family. I need my family back. I need my little bunny, all my bunnies and babies back. I miss them too much.
I understand. Completely understand.
I can't sleep. It's true.
Well, when they come back soon?
They're having a great time. Next week, so yeah, they'll be back on Thursday. Next week, so the idea was, if you guys remember, was that I was actually going to freestyle this, but I had very little time to prep, and the camera for some reason wasn't working on Kiyan, actually. But I think I still want to kind of aim to do that. But I have something in mind for next week as well. So it's just, this is going to keep going. That was, the second, third, fourth, or fifth of these kind of little intros, freestyle intros that we're going to be doing on Mondays. Shout out to, again, Faunosaur as well. Check his links in the description. We wish you guys a pleasant week. We love you. Kiyan, go get your son. I'm calling this one finished. Please.
Listeners, if you thought this was raw, the Patreon edition over on patreon.com/Churros y Tácticas is completely raw. Completely. So, and I won't say much, but and Diego's too humble. He won't admit it. But some of the stuff that was said by me on Friday seems to be coming true. We'll see. Patreon.com/Churros y Tácticas. Thank you, Diego. I appreciate your time. Thank you, listeners. Chat soon. Take care.
Peace out. Ciao, ciao.